Hello world, and welcome to the Noob cast. I am your host, the Noob James. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Guild Wars 2 Beta Weekend Event 2, Mesmer weapon skills. And to start off, we're going to be dual wielding swords, as you can see there. We're going to go with the auto attack on the 1 key, Mind Slash. Pay close attention to the first 2 attacks as they will stack vulnerability. And then the third attack removes a buff from the target. Does some pretty decent damage. Second ability is Blurred Frenzy. It'll do a flurry of strikes, and you have evasion for 2 seconds, so you're not going to be hit by melee during that time. Cooldown's not too long. Next up we have Illusionary Leap, which will summon a clone, essentially, that'll leap to the target. Now, it doesn't do a lot of damage, as no clones do, but it looks like you, and sometimes it can confuse the enemy. Yep, just gonna do it again. Next one is Illusionary Riposte, which will block, and it has an active in case you don't need to block. Next up, Illusionary Swordsman. Now, the problem with Illusionary Swordsman, as you can see, the attack speed's quite slow. I guess that's maybe just because it's beta, but the illusions do damage, but you can easily tell what they are. And with all the illusions and clones as a Mesmer, you can detonate them to do multiple effects. You finish this guy off, get out of combat. Oh! Looks like I just put myself back into combat. And I did it again. Let me just run away, break the chain. I have it traded to where anytime I dodge, it creates a clone. Blow up the clones. There we go. Run back to our starting point. Next weapon set we're going to do is the Great Sword. A nice 2-hand sword. Pretty unusual for a mage-based class. Auto attack, we're going to be shooting a beam. Notice that it'll do more damage the further away you are. That seems to be the max range right there. So you're just going to throw your sword out a little bit and let it shoot a little beam. Next up we have Mirror Blade. Throw our sword and it'll create a clone at the end of its target. And it would bounce, but it's a very short distance. Next we have Mind Stab. So we're going to stab the ground and poke up through their head there. I hit the wrong button. Oop, see, there we go. So Mind Stab. Phantasmal Berserker. Create a phantasm that'll whirlwind. Can't really see him there. Let's see if he spins. There we go. Spins into view. So Illusionary Waves, the 5 key, it's going to be a very short range AoE. And let me just finish off these mobs. These little target golems. Evil little bastards. You can still see that clone doing no damage. Alright, so it looks like I'm still in combat. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to switch up skills. Let's see. Alright, let's go with the Staff, 2-hand weapon. First auto attack is Winds of Chaos. It'll bounce an orb between enemies and then apply random buffs and debuffs. So it'll bounce off of allies and give them a buff, and then bounce off of enemies and apply debuffs. Now you notice the bounce range is not as big as some of the other ones, but it's still not too bad. If you get a little closer to it. Now you notice the bounce to that ally right there, so it's really not too short. Next up we have Phase Retreat, which will teleport away. It's a little escape ability, and it'll create a clone. Next we have Illusionary Warlock, which will summon an illusion. So that should do okay damage. There you go, the illusion's the one actually hitting. Next we have Chaos Armor. Give us some little bit of shielding and debuff people who actually attack you. Next up we have Chaos Storm, which is a little AoE that'll apply random debuffs and random buffs to enemies and allies respectively. Now you have to actually walk into the field or be in the field to receive those buffs. Notice he got feared, feared again, bled. Alright, so let's finish it off, change our skill set. Alright, so let's go pistol offhand. And oh, I keep trying to equip pistol. You know what? Let's go focus offhand, scepter main hand. Scepter's auto attack. Let's just shoot bolt of energy. There we go. And you notice it'll spawn a clone on the third hit of the auto attack chain. And what you see is what the enemy sees. So they see 3 of you attacking. Now of course they can tell it's not you because you're not doing nearly that much damage, but in the heat of battle it's kind of difficult to tell unless you're rolling around or casting spells. Next we have Confusing Images, which looks very similar to the Greatsword's auto attack. Temporal Curtain, create a wall of energy to grant swiftness to allies who cross it and cripples foes who cross it, so it'll slow enemies and speed up allies. See if I can get up there. Oh, alright, well it pulled somehow. Not quite sure how that happened. Illusionary Warden, create a phantasm. There you go, see him just whirling around there, doing some pretty significant damage. And as it is the beta weekend event, it is a little crowded. Next we're going to look at the pistol offhand. So we only get 2 abilities as offhand. First up we have Illusionary Duelist, which is just that, a duelist. Notice the attack speed's a little slow, but it is still beta, so they probably will buff that up. The next attack is a small chain attack. So what it does, it'll shoot a bullet, apply debuffs, and generally stunning. But if there are other targets nearby, it changes the order of which the debuffs are provided. Alright, so that just about wraps it up for the Mesmer's weapon skills. Let me just finish off this target. Alright, and if you have not done so already, check out the Mesmer ability videos to see some other cool abilities. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time.